For this arithmetic sequence, find term 15. So we can either use our new formula, or we can use the shortcut. If I use the formula, I can find the general term or the formula for my equation. Yes. Oh, thank you. Okay. Would have been a terrible video. Okay? So we can either use the formula or the shortcut. If we use the formula, we plug in the things that we know. Do we know term 1? Yes, we know that it's 3. Is there a common difference? Yes, we're adding 7 each time, so D is 7, n minus 1. The shortcut would say, I know my slope is 7, so my formula is going to have a 7n. What would make it work? Pick any one of them. If you pick the first one, when n is 1, right? Because if this is term 1, n is 1. This is term 2, n is 2. If I pick term 1, I get 7 times 1, which is 7. I want it to equal 3. What would I have to do to make it equal 3? Minus 4. That's the shortcut. Both of those formulas are identical. One of them gets you just plugging things into the equation. The other one, you have to use a little bit of thinking to find out what the b value would be that works. Now, either way, they want us to find in part A term 15. Well, if we're finding term 15, this means that n is equal to 15. So in my formula, I replace the n with 15, and this will give me 3 plus 7 times 14, 3 plus 98, 101. If I use the shortcut, same thing. I want to find term 15. Again, that tells us that the n value is 15. Then I would have 7 times 15 minus 4, which is 105 minus 4. Both of them give us 101, because they're the same formula, just written in a different way. So if we recap, we need the general term. We need to define the formula for Tn, and you could either do that using the formula that's on your formula sheet or the shortcut. Then you just need to plug in n is 15 because it wants to find term 15, so you know the n value is 15. Which term has a sequence of 220? So for part B here, you don't know which one it is, but you know it's somewhere that one of the terms is 220. So we know there's some n that this works. It might be term 7, might be term 9. But even though this is the new thing that is sometimes tricky for students, right? Even though we don't know n, can replace Tn, I'll write it with words. So even though we don't know what n is, we can replace the Tn with 220. And this is a little bit of an abstract jump that sometimes is difficult the first time you see it. Because you're like, normally when you put something into equation, you have to know what that is. And you don't know n. And for a lot of students says, how can I know Tn if I don't know n? Well, we have to remember, Tn represents some term. We just don't know where it is, but we know what it's equal to. So because of that, we can use our formula, and it doesn't matter which one we use, we replace the Tn with 200. Let's say I'm using I'll use the shortcut one. The shortcut one was 7n minus 4. Right? Because before this, you knew this was your formula, and we replaced the Tn with the 220. Even though we don't know n, we knew what it was equal to as the whole term. And now it's an easy algebra stuff to solve. We add 4 to both sides. And divide both sides by 7, and I think you get 32. Yep, that's what it says at the bottom. So n is 32. The question said which term? It is term 32. So on this question, circle the question 6, circle the question 15, and circle the question 18. 18 has a little star beside it, because I think 18 is in section C. Is that right? Does 18 fall into section C? And any of the questions in section C are like challenge questions. So those ones will be a little bit hard. And now I'm going to give you some time to work on any of those circled questions.